Hey, this is Miss DJ Joyful, and you are tuning into Reigncom Radio. Yeah, that's right. We taking over everything.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another beautiful episode with Reigncom Radio. I'm your host, Lady Mensah.
And I am DJ Joyful.
We want to welcome everybody tonight. Today, we're not going to drag the situation too long. You all know what's going on. We're talking about Baltimore. Baltimore is the topic in everybody's mouth, social media, Facebook, anywhere you can think of. And we just got a couple of things to say about it. Maybe you agree, maybe you do not agree. It's all up to you to think and become active community members. Now, for those who are tuning into this situation, just like myself, I would just want to brief y'all a little bit. Now, this whole situation with the riots started with a young man named Freddie Prinze. Freddie Prinze was a 25-year-old African-American who was taken into custody by the Baltimore Police Department for possession of a switchblade. Ms. Joyful, you lead us into this one, because, what do you think of this situation, first of all?
Okay, all right. Well, this situation is very tragic. I think it's a very messed up situation, not because a lot of people are hurt by what has transpired, but also because I think that it shows that the community itself, the African-American community, is in a state of unrest and in a state of confusion as to how to go appropriately expressing themselves, especially the young people, because as far as we heard, it's been young people, if I'm correct, who started these riots, and I think they were talking about high schoolers. And I think it's just very unfortunate that something had to escalate to this level. And the question is, are we really making a positive change, or are we really hurting
making
ourselves?
The situations even worse, right?
That's right.
Now, so for you, I just want to recap you guys on a few things. Now, from these ongoing series of riots, so far the police has made about 34 arrests and 15 police officers have been injured. So as you know, Ms. Joyful is saying, is this situation making this whole problem better, or are we making it worse? First of all, you look at the situation and you're like, you stand on one side and you can be like, I can't believe these kids are doing this. This is terrible. But then if you're on another side of things and you put yourself in their shoes, you can come to a point and be like, I kind of side with them. And I think that's what the mayor had done, or, said, that had her word twisted. So I just kind of want to go on to what some of these youth had seen prior to the arrest of Gray, which may have justified what they're doing. Now, I'm not saying this is right, but I'm just giving you a scenario of what they saw that maybe kind of tipped off the scale that said, you know what, enough is enough. Now, according to reports, some bystanders who were recording the incident had mentioned that when they were arresting Freddie, okay, they saw officers, about 6 officers, one folding Gray, the other officer bending Gray's leg backwards, another holding Gray down on his neck with his knee. Another witness told the Baltimore Sun that they witnessed the police officers beating Gray with a baton. Now, ongoing report says, according to the police timeline, Gray was transported into the van within 11 minutes of his arrest, and 30 minutes within his arrest, paramedics were summoned to take Gray to the hospital. Now, think about, put yourself in a situation, being a young guy watching this happen right in front of you. Police is transporting this person, they arrested. You saw the brutal beating that they did on him. And a couple of minutes later, this young man is in the hospital. You have to kind of somehow think about yourself. This could have been me. This could have been my brother. This could have been my sister. Exactly what did he do for this situation happen, aside from just a switchblade? When you think about it, it's a switchblade, yes. But did it have to result in that type of violent arrest? Did it have to result in that type of brutality? Now you have to keep in mind that Gray was a very small guy. According to reports, he was 134 pounds. Okay,
that's really small.
That's really small compared to the police officers we're seeing on TV who tower some of them look like they're 5'10", 5'11" to 6'3" or 6'2". And being that type of guy, even if you're not a heavy guy, you still have muscle mass, making you heavier than a 34-pound guy who stands only at 5'9". So to think about the force, the force and the brutality to arrest such a young soul, you can get angry at that. You can be frustrated with the whole situation. And when
it's easy for you to get angry. Yes, that's right.
It's just like, okay, so why did they even arrest him, first of all? So according to reports when we're reading, Gray apparently unprovoked reason when he saw police officers started running. First of all, me as a thinker sitting here like, what? That does not make sense. To any youth who has been in such situations, because people say that Baltimore apparently has the biggest count of police brutality against young black men or black people in general. Okay? So to sit there and hear unprovoked reasons, Gray started running, and then now all of a sudden, after all the situation, we're blaming his arrest and his actions on having a switchblade. Now, I mean, that doesn't make sense to me, not even being in that situation. That doesn't make sense to me to say that to a whole group of youth who had to grow up in this environment, this will make sense to them. I mean, what do you think, Ms. Joyful?
I think that, as you said before, it's easy for them to have gotten angry and to wanted to retaliate against the police force. And we know that Baltimore has had a sketchy history when it comes to police brutality. And even the mayor herself has tried to tell the media that she has made efforts into making a different way with the police force. But my question really with this whole situation is how they reacted the right way to react, or did they actually do more damage to the situation, to the family, to the dead victim, than actually bring some sort of resolve or positivity? And I don't think, and this could be my opinion alone, but I don't think that the way that they reacted actually helped the situation or brought any resolve, but it actually damaged their reputation. And I think that we as black people, we have to be careful of this because, and just any minority of people, not just black people, because these kind of things can be set up in order for us to react in a certain way that allows the rest of the world to look at us negatively. And when it's done by our own hands, we cannot blame anybody else but ourselves. And we have to try very hard not to fall into that trap. And I think that it's very sad to say, but the young people who were involved in this riot, I think they fell into that trap. And that's what the media took and ran with it. That's all they did. They took the situation that we created ourselves and ran with it.
And you know what? That's what the media does. They have to make entertainment out of everything, whether it's demonic, whether it's brutal, whether it's violent or just very gruesome. They have to make entertainment of it. They have to pick a side that will sell and will kind of provoke people like, what's going on? Yes. But, I agree with everything that you're saying about was it right? Did it make wrong? And then you're right on that aspect. But for me, in my opinion, I think in a way, if you've had enough and you're fed up with something, you react exactly how they reacted. You will react out of anger. And these are young people. They have not gone through enough life experiences. Well, aside from being hated on every single day, they have not really gone through certain things to come to deal with their emotions as adults would deal with emotions. And as you can see, there was some parents who were very disappointed in their kids for dealing with situations like that. But if I was a kid and all my life I see police do something to young guys, and then when they go and file reports, because according to some of the report, the police reported that there was no force used to arrest Gray, but someone on the side, a young guy on the side, saw the police officers do this, and then they go and lie about it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So to go off and lie about this things that led to these young boys' death. If I was a young guy and I had witnessed it and I had heard this, I'd be like, what do you mean? I mean, imagine how you feel when your brother will steal something from your parents and then they will blame it on you. You get angry because nobody likes to be lied on, right?
That's right.
And like you said, did this hurt the death of the young man? Okay, maybe it did, and maybe it did not bring a solution, but it woke people up. It may have woken the world up. For anybody to stand on the side and look at this as an evil thing towards the black people, I would think they are very shallow-minded and they're closed-minded. In a way, they have their own racial definition that they're sticking to, and they have come to a confirmation that they want to stay with. And that's fine. That's their opinion. But if they would just step in a shoe and look at how a human behavior is, or even compared to an animalistic behavior, we all have animalistic behaviors. It only takes a little bit of something to go a little too far for someone to react. Yes, they were wrong, but to me, I feel like their reaction was exactly what was coming, because there have been reports in Baltimore that goes on about police lynching young black men. And I mean, how long did you expect for this to go on till somebody stands up against you? Nobody likes to be oppressed. Nobody likes to be stepped on. Nobody likes to be shut down for something they did not do. And I'm sure if they give these guys a chance, because let's get it, nobody's evil the entire life. If you give someone an opportunity to grow, they will grow, unless they seriously don't want to grow. But I think when you put people in a situation where they're uncomfortable for a bit, they start to seek the comfortable way to get to things. So I think there's a misunderstanding. And from that misunderstanding, one person is abusing power. And the only way you can abuse power is by having power. And that's the police officers abusing power, which is leading to exactly what is happening now. Now, from reports that I heard, half of the police force quit their job when the mayor took office, all right?
That's right.
Now, what does that say to you as an individual? Why is it suddenly that when a black mayor, a young female black mayor takes office, half of the police force, which are predominantly white men, quit the force? To me, that doesn't sit right with me, first of all.
It doesn't.
And you would think, like, if there's a problem with the police and the young black youth, with the black female taking power, you guys will now find a way and go to her because, hey, she's a female, she's a mother. And young black boys, let's just say, respect older black women. And she probably would have had an influence to calm this whole situation. And that's why maybe her whole, I understand you guys, I understand how you feel, may have calmed the situation a bit, and maybe the deaths and the rage and the craziness has gone down now. They need to consider that rather than trying to flip the script. But to me, the actions of these young guys is exactly what was coming and what was expected to happen to anybody who sees a problem that is not being solved, but rather being thrown more gasoline or whatever. This is fire. You know what I mean? You're throwing more gasoline to the fire. It's only going to grow bigger and bigger. Right?
And I understand that point. And once again, we are not saying that. I think we both agree that even though the circumstance was justified, rioting or peacefully protesting would have been a better resolve. And that's what I think a lot of the people who were even involved in are trying to make clear, because something interesting happened throughout this riot, something that doesn't really happen in the other instances we saw. The young people were rioting and protesting and making a muck, and the older individuals who also feel the same way that these young people are feeling, right? They share the same emotion. They come from the same family. They were stopping them or trying to stop them from doing reacting what they're doing in that manner. And so that's what I think the young people have to take a look at that and see, okay, there is a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. And I think that the very crucial thing that made this this whole incident so different than what has happened before is the fact that even though they were fighting with just cause, right? I don't think anybody disagrees with that. The repercussions that they set upon themselves, that they will have to deal with afterwards, creates a cycle of destruction that they cannot come out of without even consorting with those who they are against. So they are going to have to require help and aid from the government. They're going to have to require help and aid to bring back the peace from the very police force that they are rioting against. So it doesn't help this situation. And that's what I want to know. What is the thought that brought to their heads, okay, I want change in my city, so I'm going to burn my city down. What made that sensible to them? Even with just cause, what made it click to them that I can destroy my home and still find a place to sleep tomorrow?
Okay. And that right there is a very good question and is a very good thought. And like I said before, I'm not trying to justify that what they said was right. But like I said also, is that these are young people, okay? Right now in their state and not having that support to begin with, they do not see the police officers as peacekeepers to begin with. They want a better city. I don't think at this very moment they consider the police officers peacekeepers or even see them as people who can bring peace to their city. No. Because after all, what did they say? Freddie Gray started running unprovoked, quote unquote, unprovoked, started running when he saw the police officers. Now, if these are truly peacekeepers and I find peace in them, why do I run from someone that I know is here to protect me?
Because I'm doing something wrong.
Exactly. Because you're doing something. No. Because you're doing something wrong. Okay, fine. You're doing something wrong. But at the end of the day, even if I'm doing something wrong and I know this is a peacekeeper, someone who I'm safe around, I don't think I would run unless I know that even though I'm doing something wrong, they can switch the situation and my life can be on the line. So in a way, in a sense, I am in danger rather than instead of, because think about it, let's say it this way. When you're at home and you do something bad and your mom is coming, you don't run because you think she's going to kill you. You run because you know you're going to get whoops that will probably not, it's not going to be life-threatening ever. Is it life-threatening in your home? It's just going to be whoops or going to get yelled at or going to get, scolded. And then you don't really like that situation. Right. But you don't run for the fear of your life. Right. And this is exactly what happened at the end of the day. The young man ended up dying for the exact reason why he started running. Do you understand? So for them, for the question to be like, what sense did they think this situation would bring peace to their city? I don't think they were looking at the instant peace coming because the peacekeeper themselves are not the people that they seek peace from. I think in a sense they wanted the world to wake up. Like, okay, to get your attention, to see the truth, to see exactly what's going on, maybe we need to shake things a bit. How do you get attention to a city if nobody's listening? After all, Baltimore is very small. Definitely burning it down. And it got what? It got a CNN coverage. Have we ever had anything that gone on in Baltimore that we've seen Baltimore before like this on TV? Never. But apparently this violent crime has been going on in the city for so many years and so long it's been happening, right? So now, I guess the young people, and now technology is big. They know how strong technology is and how important and how viral technology can take certain things now, right? Especially on the social platforms. They know how to get the word out now. And that's what young people do every single day. They know how to go viral. So they felt this would be the only way to go about it, at least in their sense, this would be the only way to go about it. Let's get the entire world to know exactly what's going on now. But now, think about it. Now that the entire world knows about it, it's not even a solution they're trying to find. This so-called peacekeeper, it's not a solution they're trying to find. It's not peace they're trying to bring, but rather put blame. Find a reason why we are killing them. This is the reason, you guys. No, but that's not right. Forgetting that it was a reason of death that led to this problem. No, they're looking at this is the reason why we're killing them. That's right. Because they riot. No. They did not riot before you killed Freddie. You killed Freddie and had killed many of their cousins, brothers, fathers, cousins, aunties. Before they started rioting, they're like, screw this. We're tired of our mothers telling us to keep peace because that's what a black mother does. She tries to keep her son in line, keep him in check, keep him from reacting. Son, don't do this. Police is this. They put fear in their children to fear the police. That's right. But then at some point, a man will not be kept with fear for so long. You cannot run a country on fear because at some point, people will say, screw that. I would rather die than have my life be kept as a cage. He's living in an open space, but he's in a cage because he can't do anything without being attacked. Do you understand? Yes. So I don't think these guys were looking at peace because they knew peace was gone long time ago. There is no peace from these peacemakers. What they were doing did not make sense, but to them, to get the world to wake up and realize the senselessness in the things that is happening to them, right, is what they were going after. And that's to wake up the world. Get people talking. Get the right eyes in there.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Lady Mensah. And I definitely agree with some of the things that you are saying. I think we're going to take a little break here and let the audience digest some of this thoughts. And we are going to take a little break to Lecrae, Say I Won't. You're tuning in to Reigncom Radio.
Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. Why y'all scared to be different? Say I won't. We them outsiders, that's just how we live. Say I won't.
All right, and we are back, and that was Lecrae, Say I Won't, featuring Andy Mineo. And I think that's an excellent song for the topic that we have tonight. Say I Won't. Why y'all scared to be different? I think those young people who were rioting in Baltimore a few days ago definitely said, yo, we are definitely going to be different. And they definitely are, and I think they made their point. So we've gone through all of the segments of why this action of rage, this action of change is somewhat justified.
Yeah.
Now that we agree on that, my question is, how do we rebuild from here? And that's a question that I think the rest of the world is wondering. I mean, like, I can remember I was watching CNN, and one of the places that was attacked by the riot was a church that was building a seniors' home. I think it was 60 apartments for seniors to be able to afford affordable housing, a $16 million project gone up in flames in less than one day. And when I look at situations like that, and even seeing the disregard for some of the staple monuments and places that did not trouble them, you know what I'm saying? They had nothing to do with that place. They should have left it alone, in my opinion. How do you build back from that? $60 million that could have gone into creating programs for after school, developing better infrastructures, creating jobs, gone up in flames, right? How do you rebuild after that? And how does the government, how does your family, your friends look at you and feel at peace knowing that you have cost them so much? How do we rebuild after that?
Once again, that's a really good question. And to say, so basically, this places that would cost $60 million has been damaged, right?
That's right.
And I like that you said it could have gone to after school programs. It could have gone into things to help the city be better. But at the end of the day, it did not go to that program. It did not go to make the city better. It rather went to something else. Like I said, they're trying to wake up.
No, it wasn't built yet.
It wasn't built. It was being built.
Yes, for those things.
For those things, and it was broken apart.
That's right.
Okay, then let me rewrite my words because I thought it was already built. Okay, I got too excited there. Again, like I said, these are kids. First of all, they're not thinking of it. And even if this was coming, nobody made it. Even if this was coming, I don't think anybody made it easy to have had this situation landed on them. If anything, I would say there's a conspiracy here. How do we know that the police officers did not go out doing this, knowing that these kids will flip this way, or at least one thing will go to the other and something will get crazy and all this can be destructive? Because after all, we know they did not like the mayor.
Wow.
And this will be another way to destroy her image, destroy the city's image, and again, impact the whole black what stereotype, the whole behavior of a black person. This is all to impact the image and destroy it. So now we cannot, I don't think any family member will look at their son and be like, you ruined this. Because what everybody's going to think about is the damage and what could have happened and how the kids are being hurt. And now they're really going to wake up to the emotions of these children. Yes, it's unfortunate that this amount of money is gone, but more money like that is being spent on weapons each and every single day for there to be more war in other countries. There's destruction going on in certain places that are causing more than this 16 million. So let's not focus so much on the money. Maybe that's the problem. We're focusing too much on the money that we put in people's life on the money. And now at the end of the day, we're coming into these situations. Life matters more than money. Let's focus on the peace that we're setting and start building all these after-school programs, because as you can see, in the States, in majority of the places in the States, after school program is not helping all the black teens who are troubled. So let's stop looking at all these programs we can shove the kids into and find a way that we can do a person one-on-one, personal to person, face to face, motion to emotion, heart to heart conversation to touch another person, to get them to actually change. Because you can throw a book in front of a monkey and all of a sudden he's going to become a professor or a professional reader or a mathematician. No, you can't. You will have to teach it how to read it and how to function and how to make it work for them and how to understand what is in front of them.
But isn't that what the community, as far as I know, had been trying to create these type of programs? And the sad thing about it is that a lot of these programs are not government based. They are they are instituted by individuals who may have grown up in the community and who want to make a change. And they know what it feels like to be that young boy who is frustrated and doesn't have any hope, but they are coming back to the community and saying,
to help out.
Exactly.
But the thing is, these young boys, like we're saying, let's keep it in mind, okay? This young man who put his money back into the community, that lived outside of the community now, to him, not having grown there, not living there anymore, not having these kids seeing him come up to come build in the community, these kids probably don't think he can relate. And you know how these kids function. If they don't see you on the block, if you don't move on the block, you can't be a part of the block. You're a traitor to them. They see you as an outsider. So whatever you're doing, they don't know if it's a trap or if you're trying to build them. These kids are in a state of mistrust. You don't trust something, you will never see it as beneficial to you. Now, if all these community programs is being made, okay, to benefit me, I don't even trust the person putting it down, no matter black or white, how do I even enter there knowing that I'm safe or even see it as beneficial to me?
Well, that's true. But I think, again, whose responsibility is it to teach the young people how to think correctly? And I think that's the issue that we embarked in this whole situation. They were not taught how to think correctly.
And that's what they need to really look at.
Yes.
If all this had not worked, if all our actions have come to this now, if our peacekeepers are not even able to get through the kids and it's leading to this, what do we have to do now? How about you now talk to the kids? Get them to finally open up to you instead of relaying to drugs, relaying to their thuggish friends, relaying to their music videos, relaying to things that they think will bring them peace that actually won't, but make it worse for them. How about we stop pointing fingers at the problem or who started this whole situation? Let's start finding an actual solution by getting them to voice themselves. Let's start working with the mayor who seems to have an understanding for these kids and probably, because she grows up in the community, stayed in the community, found herself in that position she is in, will probably have a better connection with the children. Let's work with her. Let's stop demonizing this one who feels oppressed and feels hurt. Because to be honest with you, if I'm angry right now and I feel pissed off, no matter how calm I look and you come and you talk to me, my mind will be on destruction. How do I get back at you? I'm not thinking about what you're saying to me to calm me down, because at the end of the day, if I don't trust you, I'm not hearing a word you're saying. I am so heated that your words are just coming at me and it's bouncing off me. But the moment you move away, I'm going to do what I'm feeling like doing. And that's exactly what happened. You had a parent scolding her child, which I think went viral, scolding her son for doing it.
That's
but
right.
He literally brushed by her and went ahead to do what he had to do, because even though she's his mom, he is angry now. Yes. Mom's words can't stop him, because his whole life she said, do this, do that, son, do this, and you'll be safe. But son did it and he's not safe. So now, Mom, what do you mean? How can you protect me against something that you can't even face yourself? So let's go to the main problem. Let's stop asking whose responsibility it is. Get the kids to tell you what they need. And from that moment on, if you start working with them and there's still misbehavior, then you just take into consideration that this person just does not want to learn. But I believe in the honest truth, being a person who has walked through certain lives, and I'm not saying it's crazy like that, but, walked through certain life and has come to better understand myself and seek more because somebody gave me an opportunity to be a better person, you know, and my spirit naturally being a person, you want to be better than your current situation if it's not good.
That's right.
Grew to want to be better. I believe with everything in me that if the right thing is done by these children and then the right connection is going towards these children, there will be a better Baltimore. There will be a better United States. Let's just say, because what happened in Baltimore can happen anywhere in the world.
That's right. Even here.
And we have what? We have the whole situation going on in South Africa too. Africans killing Africans because they're taking their jobs. So you have to understand every country is having something going on that has to do with, you know, black people saying black people dead, black this, black that. And even the one in South Africa, it had to do with the king saying something that was taken out of context, and then now the deaths are going on. So you know what I mean? Let's stop looking at the problem and start finding solutions where there can be balance in the community where everybody can benefit and not just one person with power abusing it or pointing blame or demonizing the one causing the problem, because let's face it, nobody is perfect.
Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. I totally agree with the aspect of these young people being pushed so much to a limit that there was no room to vent their frustration. And because of this, it's just like when you put a lot of pressure on a balloon that is filled with air, eventually that pressure has nowhere to escape and it's going to pop. And I think that it's the responsibility of the leaders in the community to have been able to create an atmosphere where they could have released that air, released that anger, that anguish, that pain, that suffering, that frustration in an appropriate manner. It's just like if you were to take a pin and poke the balloon with so much force, it will pop. But if you take a pin and you squeeze the balloon a little bit and take on, you know, just poke it just lightly with a little bit of pressure, you can release all that air out of the balloon without it popping. And I think that's what has to happen. The leaders and the mentors in the community need to rise up. We need to take out all this garbage foolishness that they are attributing to the culture of Black people. I know that, you know, some people will come down on this statement, but the very fact that this young man, why was he being arrested? We can say, okay, well, it was an unjust action. But we know for a fact that he has a criminal record that has to do with drugs. Why do we have to resort to these things? That's my question. Why is it that there are so many negative aspects about our community that we have to face that allows us to reach a point where the authority figures can take advantage of us? If we do not place ourselves in certain situations, there is absolutely no way possible that we can be taken advantage of. We need to take the power back. And the only way to do that is to educate ourselves, to be able to mentor and support the generations that come after us, right? To be able to create positive spaces for them to be able to vent their frustrations, whether it be through arts, whether it be through writing, whether it be through any means or forms. But we have to do that.
I think we should cut out music. Let's stop with the music solution, thinking music program is going to help, because I don't see the positivity of music right now anyways, because once kids get into that music program, they start thinking like, I could be the next Jay-Z, and that's just a wrong move.
Well, I think that
you know what you're saying,
there's a lot of different types of music. It doesn't have to be hip-hop music.
Okay.
I mean, like, I know of this young man who, I don't even remember his name, but he's a young man who is a celloist, I think you would call it.
A celloist?
And he does...
Ain't a Black boy thinking of being a celloist?
Yes, he is.
But that's amazing.
He's a Black guy who's playing the cello. Shout out if you know who you are. I don't know if you're listening to this. But he does that, and he travels all the world, and he's playing cello, okay? Not singing. And you know what? The song that he did was All of Me and All of You by John Legend, right? And it was so just gracefully done and done so exquisitely. And you know how hard, if you are a musician, you know how hard it is to take yourself and learn a piece of music from the classical standpoint.
So basically what I should have said was, let's change the genre of music that we're teaching these kids. Let's start doing more intellectual music, like classical music, jazz,
Yeah.
pop.
That's right. We can explore those things. And we're not saying that the other genres of music are different.
No.
Do whatever genre you feel is okay. Because, listen, we play hip-hop music, and we play R&B, and we play all the good stuff here on Reigncom Radio. But one of the things that we promised ourselves is that we would always play music or create content that was positive,
Yes.
and not downgrading any aspect or facet of the community that we cater to. And that is what is important. Stop with the twerking, stop with all the foolishness, because it's not helping you, right? If you want to twerk, do it in your bedroom.
Yes.
And
don't do it for the vine or the gram.
For the vine.
Just do it for the invisible lights in your bedroom.
That's
The angels who will not tell anybody or put it on viral videos.
That's right.
Just
Because
do it.
you're making yourself of lesser value, right? And that's what we need to stop doing. It all comes down to this whole thing with Baltimore. We need to entrust ourselves with portraying a better image of ourselves.
And we need, I think one thing too is knowing your culture. We need to find more depth to our culture, know our background, and understand who we are as human beings, not just black people, not slaves, but who we are as human beings. Let's start seeing ourselves differently than what has been written that was our life. Because before that life came in and you were a slave for 490 years, or how many years was it? If I'm not mistaken.
400 years.
400 years. Okay, I kind of went into the whole Bible thing there, but 490 years. Trifling, okay? But no, let's stop staying in that slave mentality thinking we can't be anything else and be stuck there, okay? Yes, we're being oppressed, we're in the situation, you're angry and everything, but I think the moment you start seeing yourself more than just a slave, more than just I like to wake up and bake and all that and, all these things. Certain things wouldn't get you so much where if you understand where you come from, you know where you are going.
That's right.
Aspire to have a relationship with your spirit and not your surrounding, okay? Because this world is going downhill. And until you are one with your spirit and understand things in a calm and peaceful way before you act, I don't think there's ever a solution. So let's try to find that inner peace, especially parents. Because if you have to teach your children, you don't have peace yourself. You can't teach your sons to truly have peace. You can tame them. You know what I mean? You can tame them in a way, but at some point, every tamed animal breaks.
You know what? As you just mentioned that, I heard a very interesting statement this past Sunday. And it was that parents only create reproductions of themselves. So anything that you see that your child has, it is a mirroring image of who you are and where you have come from, which is so epic because oftentimes we look at the negative things that some of the young people do and we say, oh, where did they get them from? Well, sorry to tell you, honey, it's a reflection of who you are and where you have come from. And if it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of your baby daddy or your baby mama, who they are and where they have come from. And you had the choice to select who that was. So you can't look at them and blame them for everything. It's time for us to actually step up to the plate and make a difference. And if you do not have biological children, older young people, such as myself and Lady Mensah, right? It is our responsibility to take charge and mentor the young folk because, listen, they may not always go to mom. They may not always go to dad. They may not always go to their siblings or their brothers. Sometimes they can't. Sometimes the very environment that they grew up in, that's the environment that harms them the most. And so it wouldn't be productive for them to actually confide in someone in their household. But there is a world of other people out there that they can talk to. But if you shy away from the young people and you don't make yourself approachable, just like we're talking about the police officers who are supposed to be the peacekeepers, they're the ones that are harming them. And so that balance of trust has been shaken. But if you extend your hand out to the young people as an older young person who has gone there and not been there in 1903, and trying to tell them what it is in 2015.
They're looking at you like, what?
Exactly.
What? Left eye? Okay.
The world has changed. So they need somebody who has a fresh take of it and who can let them know what's up. And that's what we are here to do for you here on Reigncom Radio. We let you know what's up, and we also let you voice your opinion. So, Lady Mensah, just give us a short closing for this segment. We are going to log off and start with the next show.
All right. So, you guys, all I have to say is, okay, there's a beautiful word that goes around in the African proverbs, and if you've ever read it, says, it takes a village to raise a child. Let's stop, especially black folks, let's stop keeping our kids away from other black folks, making it seem like we have a problem with each other. Because what you may not be able to teach your child, if you open your child up to the community around him to respect other people as their parents, they may be able to teach your child that, and that values the entire community.
That's a good one.
So it takes a village to raise a child. Let's start being one, black people, and let's stop looking at each other as enemies, but rather as friends. You guys enjoy yourself, and we'll be right back with the next segment.
All right. And we are coming back. We are going to have a next song by Kendrick Lamar, I Love Myself. So see you next time, ReigncomRadio.com. Actually, ReigncomMedia.com. You know what it is. We signing off.
What's up, world? Welcome to Reigncom Media. I'm your new face, Lady Mensah for Reigncom Radio. I just simply want to thank each and every single one of you for following. Do me a favor and invite your friends to join us as well, as we're getting ready to take you guys through urban contemporary entertainment of lifestyle, music, fashion, and film, and anything else we can think of. This right here is going to be a dope experience. Do not miss out.